Welcome to Business Budget Model. Today we're going to go through a tutorial which basically gives you an overview of how the multiple scenarios in the same budget works. Unlike other budgets models that you may have used in the past where you would have to create 3 different versions to represent the 3 different scenarios, we maintain all 3 of those scenarios within the same budget. So let's look how we achieve that. You will recall that when we did the setup, we had the option of naming the different scenarios with the terminology that we preferred. So whether you wanted to call it scenario A, B, or C, you can change it. For the purpose of this tutorial, we'll continue with what's being set there, which is low road, medium road, and high road. On the assumptions sheet in row 5, we have the ability to toggle between the different scenarios by selecting them from the drop-down list that is provided, and those names would appear as you've named them. In the revenue and cost of sales forecast sheet, this is where we would set all the revenues and cost of sales. How the model works is it's an aggregation model. So in this sheet, and you'll see I'll just collapse the ribbons here, we've got the low road, medium road, and high road. And for each of these, we've got revenue, cost of sales. And then for the last 2 scenarios, we have incremental costs, which I'll describe in a few minutes. When we set up our revenues, our base case is always going to be the low road as it's named here. You would allocate all your revenues there, whether it be by formula, whether it be by amounts that you've cut and pasted from another model, or whether it be that you've got a link from these cells to another model, external model, where you might have played around with your forecasts of your revenue. The same principle applies for cost of sales, which you can, when taking them on, you can either make it a percentage, cost of sales to be a percentage of your revenue by setting these percentages there, or you can capture them in whichever format. Remember, the brown shaded cells are there for your use. You can change them as you desire. You can put in formulas or copy and paste value. At the top, we've got our macro buttons to simply toggle through nice and easily into all of these the different sections of the model. And in this instance, I've now gone down to the medium road scenario. You will see here in cell C125, black background with white font. It gives you a description of how the scenarios actually work. And basically, it's an aggregation model. So our base case, being the low road in this instance, will have the revenues that we would forecast. If we had forecast revenues of 1,000 for a particular revenue category, and we wanted the next level, we wanted it to be 1,200, all we would have to do is add 200 into the applicable revenue category here. And then when we select on the assumption sheet the medium road scenario, it will take the 1,000 from the low road and it will add the 200 from the medium road to give us 1,200 as the result of our revenues that we're forecasting. The same principle applies if we go down to revenue scenario 3. We broke that all down. Revenue scenario 3, where we would add in the additional incremental value that we would require there. So using the earlier example, we had 1,000 in low road, we had 200 in medium road, and if we wanted to have a total of 1,500, we would simply add 300 of revenue into the high road. And then when we select the high road scenario, it will total up the 1,000, the 200, and the 300 to give us the 1,500 result that we're looking for. You will notice here there are incremental OPEX costs. These are set up in the OPEX sheet. The names of these, you can change them to whatever you would like them to be. And what this is it's the additional cost you would incur to achieve your second level, your medium road scenario. So whatever those categories of OPEX are, you'd put in the values there, and these would automatically pull through into the budget sheet if you select the medium road scenario. Similarly, if for your high road scenario, you had additional OPEX, so it wasn't just the OPEX from level 2, but additional OPEX for level 3 to give you a total. So, for example, to illustrate that, if I put 500 here in the incremental cost for scenario 3, which is the high road, as this example is called, and I put in incremental costs of 10,000 for the medium road, when I select the medium road scenario under the assumptions sheet, so to illustrate that, the assumptions, I'm now going to select medium road, and if I go to budget, and we go to the OPEX section, and we go down to the incremental costs, you'll see it would have pulled through 10,000 because in medium road scenario, which is what we're looking at, we had 10,000. If we go back and change it to high road, you'll recall I added 500 in for the high road as well. So now it should show us 10,500 of incremental costs, and there it is. So it pulls through the aggregation of the two, depending on which scenario that you're actually looking at. Equally, the same principle applies with revenue. So if we just consolidated these just to look at totals, our total revenue is 698,389. How do we get that? Because we're on high road, and if we also just close this down and we looked at all three, it would be the sum total of these three. That one, and that one, which, as you can see down here, it totals to 698,389, which is the total that we have there for that particular month. And that simply is how the different scenarios work. Remember, you can download the user guide from www.businessbudgetmodel.com, which describes it in a great amount of detail.